Correct. Yeah, and and so what I guess is saying that sometimes dealing with triggers depends on what it boils down to in terms of how you were raised, and he's absolutely correct, right? Because a mom will teach a child different coping skills, okay, and a dad will teach different coping skills, right? But it's up to all of us to understand the various coping skills that we can pass that on to our children. All right? So let's, yes, sir. Yes, Brother Hamza. Well, that's a good question. And this is why, sisters, that when you get divorced, stop trying to keep these kids away from their father. Y'all cut that out. That's not proper. And this is why in Islam, the kids after a certain age should be with their father. Because you need both of those. You need both the male influence and the female influence. You need them both. Okay? I hear a lot of women talking abject nonsense. Well, I'm both mother and father, so I celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day. Get out of here with that. That's some American stuff that you ought not hear yourself say. Because it's foolishness. Right? You can never be a father. And I can never be a mother. So let's stay in our lanes, please. Right? I'm coming to you. Okay? Paradise lies at the feet of the mother. Why would you want to be a father when paradise lies at your feet? Right? I ain't never heard an NFL player or a basketball player when they do something tremendous and the TV camera is on them. I never heard them go, "Hi, Dad." They always say what? "Hi, Mom." Okay? Because that sense that they are in an emotional position when they just won the NBA or when they just won the NFL. And that emotional response goes to mommy. That's where that goes. It goes to mommy. And mommy got that. She can have that. Okay? But the reality is that a child needs both influences. They need both mother and father. They need the influence of both. And that and putting in the work of this is how, brothers and sisters, how you recognize your triggers. It doesn't come by osmosis. You know what upsets you. That's why I appreciate Pone's answer. You know what triggers you. You know what makes you mad. You know what makes you mad. And so when you're answering these questions, you've got to do it honestly. Okay, brother, you had a comment quickly. Yeah, I mean, most definitely, but I'm going to comment on that. What the brother's saying is sometimes these triggers, sisters, He's putting it on your doorstep. He's saying sometimes these triggers could be you sisters making statements of emasculation or being controlling. So you saying things that challenge my manhood, or you trying to control me, and a simple thing like, where you going? Like, where you going? You're not my protector. I can ask where you going, because if something jumps off, who you going to call? It's definitely not going to be Ghostbusters. Okay? But where you going? But from the standpoint of the man, you should not be able to be that easily emasculated. If your manhood hangs on the thread of a question, you got more problems than a little bit. And in this society of switch hitters, I'll be a little concerned if your masculinity is like that. Our masculinity has to be so firm and so strong that nothing a woman or a man says to us would be able to separate us from our masculinity. Right? And I'll tell you, and my wife will tell you, I don't let anybody, Pone, define me. I don't let anybody define me. I am the arbiter, the only arbiter of who I am. You may have your opinion of me, but your opinion of me only goes so far. Everybody got an opinion. So you can have your opinion of me, but I will not let you define me. I will not let you determine who I am. You know, people like to tell you, well, you know, you are like this, and you are like that, and you are like that. You know, that's the problem with you. You are like this, that, and the third. Okay? And they try to define you. I don't let people define me. Okay? Because I've been living with me long before you showed up. You can believe that. Okay? So that emasculation question has to be viewed through a very different lens. Okay? And those of you who are sitting with your family, I need you to answer this. Okay? I need you to answer this. What kind of love pattern drives your relationship? Emotional safety, judgment-free, quick repair after conflict, or shared responsibility? What type of love pattern drives your relationship? Or even in the home, if you're not married, just if you are sitting with your family. All right. Any takers? Where? Okay. Shared responsibility? Sometimes things can get out of hand and it's not that serious. You're right about that. Sometimes we make mountains out of molehills, right? Yes. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, 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 because she cussing in Korean. Yeah, right, right. Yeah, assalamu alaikum. All right, Tiger Woods. You all over there Kablasian. Say, I'm Asian and American. That's what's up. An Asiatic black man. All right, Nation of Islam. Asiatic black man. So, what about over here? Is there a response to love driven patterns? What type of love driven patterns did you see in your household? Emotional safety, what? Yes. Okay. So, what does where do you put that in the fact that you never heard him? He could have done it in the bedroom and you didn't know. So I'm saying, what did you feel in that household? What do you feel was driving that house? Respect. Yes. Yes. Respect is a big thing. Respect is a big thing. Okay? All right. Let's talk about one more thing that's very important. Let's talk about the family trauma cycle, and then we'll end with this. I told you that we didn't look at it in the on the slide, but let's talk about it now. Okay? So the first thing that happens is that hurt. You name it by different things. You call it a trigger, but what it really is a hurt. Is a hurt. Somebody says something that hurt you. So next time you hear people talking about triggers, I need you to translate it as hurt. Because people don't simply respond to something that doesn't hurt them. So when you say, Pone, that people disrespect you, what you mean is they make you feel a kind of way, right? Right? They make you feel a kind of way. They hurt you. And so a part of that healing process is you have to realize, wow, he just hurt me. And how do I respond to that hurt? Because now what? Hurt people hurt people. And so what you've got to recognize, beloved, is that you're just not defending something that you don't understand. Here you are trying to hurt somebody. How tall are you? 6'2", 6'3". How much you weigh? 235. Imagine you married to a little shorty and she disrespects you and you respond to her. What do you think a judge is going to do? You done, B. You throwing rocks at the penitentiary. And here you are trying to explain, well, she just disrespected me. That's really not what happened. You were hurt, and when you get hurt, you trying to do what? Hurt her. Or you trying to hurt him. And so when you realize that, when you get triggered, you realize I'm feeling hurt, my natural reaction is this, and you look out for that. Someone asked the question, well, how do we navigate that trauma? How do we navigate that trigger? This is part of how you do it. When you understand the trigger, you understand that I am hurt. And if it's your husband, you can say to him, "You hurt me," with that statement. And more than "you hurt me," because listen to that language, "you hurt me." What does that sound like? You just hurt me. What does that sound like? Huh? It may be coming from a woman. But listen to the statement, "You hurt me." What does that, when you hear that, "you hurt me," what does that does to you? Just give me your reaction. Huh? It sounds like what? Say that again. It sounds like blame. Okay? And going back to what you had said to me, we need to reorientate our language, Lukman. Right? We need to switch up how we talk to each other. And we need to respond to each other not with blame, but with compassion. So rather than saying, "You hurt me," how could you say that differently? I feel hurt by what you just said. You see that? You keep it with your feelings. You don't blame me, but you express to me how that made you feel. I was hurt by that. I feel sad because you said, that really hurt me. That really hurt me. That opens up a different avenue of conversation. And that recognizes a different type of conversation, a different type of response. And after that hurt comes that fear. And that fear is really trauma. After the hurt, the trauma gets activated. And now the trauma gets activated, and the trauma in your nervous system, your operating system, Pone, tells you, "I am disrespected." And now you're talking to yourself now. And now you're saying, "I'm disrespected." And your own mind and body says, "I have to do something about it." You understand? That's what's going on inside of you. And whether the man is 6'5" or 300 pounds, you decide that, hey, listen, it's either me or him. And you're ready to go to work. You're ready to go to work. Now, you can see a guy 5'6", 5'7" like me, and then you move and you get your feelings hurt. Be like, "I didn't know he was a third-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. All I knew was I was hurt." I tell my sons all the time, let me tell you something. As Bruce Lee said in Enter the Dragon, you can come and hit a board and that board will break, but boards don't hit back. It's not about what you can do to me. Understand, I can do something too now. And every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. So get ready for the payback. As Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until what? Until they get punched in the face. Right? But you're not thinking about that though. Right? That's not in your mind. All that's in your mind is, he just disrespected me, and I've got to give him some get back. Because I was hurt, and I'm going to hurt. And I asked him, what if it's a woman? He said, it doesn't matter. Disrespect is disrespect. That's how trauma works, though. Yes. Well, but that's what he needs to do. Like the sister said, that's what he needs to do. And he doesn't need to go into you hurt me. He needs to identify himself at the center of the hurt. He can say, babe, you know, you really hurt me by what you just said. Let them hear you say that, brother. Pone. Pone. I'm talking to you. Stand up. Let them hear you say how you would say it. Tell her you really, not you really hurt me, but tell her how you feel hurt.
I feel a way behind what you just said.
All right, I feel a way behind what you just said. Now sit down, brother. That's the language of poem. I feel a way behind what you just said. You know what I mean? Yeah, men don't use that word hurt like you hurt me. No. Understand, we have a different vocabulary. I feel a way behind what you just said. Understand, you just hurt me, sister. Understand that. You just hurt me. 6'3", 239. I'm feeling a kind of way behind what you just said. Behind that. I mean, that's what it is, right? That's what it is. And so, if you understand the hurt and you understand the trauma, instead of the defense that you've been playing all your life, which is jumping up and hurting somebody back, now you can recognize the harm. Both parties now can recognize the harm. Because as soon as you said it, he felt hurt behind that. Now he's communicating to you how you feel. Now we can break the cycle. Because you know why? I have just identified the trauma. And it wasn't personal. And what we need to do, brothers and sisters, as I close, is fight the trauma. Don't fight each other. Fight the trauma. Don't fight each other. Assalamu alaikum.
Just use the mic, Ak. You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah, I appreciate it though. But I wanted to thank the doctor for coming out. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, this won't be his last visit. Thank everybody who came out and participated, right? So these are the necessary healing sessions that we need, inshallah ta'ala, to get down under the roots, right? Because there's a lot of communal trauma, there's a lot of familiar trauma, and there's just a lot of things that go unsaid, undiagnosed, and unaddressed as we proceed in the direction that we want to go as a community. And so, alhamdulillah, the brother was able to come and spend his time with us, and this was a long day. And he did it relatively pro bono. But if we want to keep these programs going, inshallah, into the future, I ask that everybody contribute. Alhamdulillah, my wife, one of my wife's clients, just settled on one of her deals, and she's been watching the success of our community and how we've been improving and providing services to the community, and she gave us a $2,500 check. So, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. And so we want to keep that going. So the brother got the scan machine right there. You know, we up to date and contemporary, inshallah. Whatever you can give, we greatly appreciate, inshallah. We look forward to servicing you all more, inshallah. If you have any questions about what went on today, have any suggestions about what you want to do moving forward. What's up, brother? You good? You took a shahada? What you waiting on, baby boy? Now, no pressure. All right. Yeah, come on. Come and get my number, bro. Don't be nervous, Sock. All these people, see, look, all these people, look. All these people smiling. Look. See that? They love you, brother. 973 518 4697. Yeah, Mustafa. Lock me in. Yeah. We want you to come. Text me because we want you to come next weekend as well, inshallah.
Anybody want to donate, they can come see me.
They got the card read. Anybody want to donate, they can come see Brother Hamid. Don't everybody move at once like y'all did when we put them sandwiches out. Inshallah. All right. Jazakallah khair and barakallahu feek. If we can just get to participation of the brothers to move the chairs back downstairs and maybe the sisters to help us clean up whatever is left over, inshallah, be greatly appreciated, inshallah. Because we have to, after following this gathering, Dr. Yusuf, humbly agreed to do an interview for our YouTube channel, right? And this is what I'm going to say. I promise the last thing I'm going to say. When we put these programs together, if you can't make it, it's important that you share it with your network. Because the people, you may not know it, all of y'all that's showing up within your groups and your enclaves, y'all are the decision makers, right? And so if you share the information and you promote it, that's how we get more and more people to come out. If we're putting in the programs and people not coming and information is not shared, we stunting our own growth. And I'm going to tell you something, that social media is our lifeline to the community, but it's also how we're going to generate some economic funds, inshallah. You understand? You're like, man, brother, get off the mic, man. Listen to this guy talk all day. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, the brother and I, we're going to sit down and have a more in-depth conversation on our podcast coming up shortly. And if anybody has any questions you would like me to ask during the podcast, I can try to fit it in. So if you have some questions, you can try to jot it down and give it to me, and I'll do my best to try to ask the question during the session. Oh, sure. Yeah, take your time. Yes, and please take as much food as possible. The sister right there in the green, she wants to write a check. In the green, right hand. Yep. Please take as much food as possible. Inshallah, we appreciate it. Thank you. And if anybody else wants to donate, we have a card reader or you can write a check. Somebody's cell phone? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.